Let's talk about the one and only Eden Hazard and the possibility of him coming back to Chelsea, which seems a bit ridiculous when you look at it because his time at Chelsea was phenomenal. Let's be real here. One of the best players in the Premier League during his time. Yes, there's a few other players, but still, he was at the prime and went to Real Madrid where things really did not turn out well for him, which you've all seen. I mean, he's picked up so many injuries. I'm not even sure how many games he's missed. It's got to be at least like 70, if not 80. And the fact he's only been there since 2019, that is a remarkable amount of games to miss. Now, granted, he did win a lot of things while at Real Madrid, did win a Champions League. So then, again, happy for the player. But there is the question, does he return back to Chelsea? Now, I'm pretty sure the fan base would be more than happy to see him come back. Myself included, I would be happy to see him. I do understand this is a totally different player than the player that left back in 2019 because of all the injuries. His fitness hasn't been the best either, but still, I'd be more than happy to have Eden Hazard come back to the club. Now, there's a few things I need to talk about, though, if he did come back to the club. Now, the first thing would be wages. Obviously, we're not going to spend an arm and a leg for this player. Maybe $100,000 per week, if that. Again, being 32, you expect so much more from this player, but all the injuries he's picked up, I can't see spending way too much, maybe 150 at the most, which I think for him would be a pretty good deal because we do not know if he still has a long career left because he could possibly retire at the end of this summer, which I wouldn't fault the player with, again, all the injuries he's had. It's one of the things that affects most players during their career. When they pick up so many, it's hard to recover, get back to the form you used to be in, and therefore it's difficult to stay at the top where you were for such a long time. But if we give him for that type of price range, it would be good to at least have him for 1 year plus one or maybe 2 years plus one at that point, because what we could do with this player is get him fully fit and not rush him back in, because we all know we have quite a few players at this club that could probably play over him right now, but to have Eden Hazard come off the bench or at some point start for us would be phenomenal, because again, we're not expecting him to play every single match. We're not expecting him to play 90 minutes. We're maybe expecting him to play 30, maybe 60 minutes. A guy like that, if he can do that and bring back some of the talent he used to have, he's going to terrorize some of the defenses, and therefore, again, it's one of those subs that we can bring in. Now, I don't know if Pochettino is going to be very keen on this player because of his fitness. We all talk about this all the time, that Pochettino wants players that will run and run and run. And with Eden Hazard, we've seen him gain some weight through some of the summers. And again, I don't know if he would actually put the full shift in that Pochettino would want, which could be heartbreaking, because if not, then there would make no sense for him to come back. But still, being a Chelsea fan, watching him play and just elevate his game at this club back in the day, it would be great to see him again, almost like a return like Didier Drogba did a couple of seasons ago, or I guess that's more than a couple of seasons ago. Time does fly, but still, see him come back, score a few more goals in the Chelsea blue, kiss the badge, knee sliding towards the corner flag. I would absolutely love to see that one more time as a Chelsea fan. And like I said, if we give him for a good wage, it would make perfect sense because he would be a backup winger. We are not expecting him to start. He shouldn't start probably unless, again, he gets fully fit and get back to the way he used to play. And if that's the case, this is a diamond in the rough then, because we have a 32-year-old and possibly could get 3 seasons out of this guy then, and therefore, again, we did not pay much for him. So there's not much of a gamble for this player, minus the fact that he would take up a wage and probably a position. But still, if we know we're not going to get a whole lot from him, only have him for a certain amount of games would make total sense. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Should we bring back Eden Hazard back to Chelsea, or again, just completely get rid of him, never think about him again, remember what he did at Chelsea and leave it at that? Both do make sense, but again, I want to know what you guys think. So that is it, and I will see you in our next video.